Hi,
How
Rob.
are you, Mrs. Hanson?
Good to see you.
Congratulations on your ordination.
Good. How are Thank you.
Uh,
I missed you.
That's great. Yeah, no, I was under the weather over the weekend. I was on
Oh,
a Z pack and
ugh,
steroids because I had a really bad sinus
it's
infection
all
last
going
week. I was on here
around.
last Wednesday. Huh?
Uh-huh. It's going around.
And
I
last
know
one,
three people.
I couldn't believe how bad I sounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then less than an hour ago, I just took an epinephrine, an EpiPen, and a bunch of antihistamine because I got stung by a bunch of bees a little while ago. So my hands are
No.
quite swollen and they hurt. Yeah, they hurt quite a bit.
Oh,
So,
God.
and Lynn's not going to be joining us this evening. She is at a retreat upstate.
Right.
So it's probably going to be a truncated uh, discussion tonight because I got to tell you, my hands hurt a lot from the bee bites, and my
Yeah.
I got on the forearm too. So
Oh,
thank God it wasn't in the face or anything. But
yeah.
like I said, I take the epinephrine because I've had really bad reactions in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I had the and my wife hit me right in the leg with it. How are you, Michelle? Nice to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. So everyone's had a good week. Well, last week Susan was with us and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
This is Lynn Hanson, a dear friend of mine and Lynn's, and she over the weekend was ordained in the Order of Melchizedek. I know Lynn had mentioned last week the ordinations by a Reverend Dan. Um, I know there were a few people who came up from Virginia uh, to be ordained with you, Lynn, right?
They were
It was
all over. I think
recent people, I
Massachusetts,
believe.
Michigan,
Right.
um,
So
all over.
almost 24 people from what I saw in the picture.
Yes.
That's this here. Welcome. So, like I said, Lynn will not be joining us this evening. She's at a retreat, and there's an event tonight that she wants to participate in. So she actually contacted me earlier and said, "Would you mind going solo?" I said, "Sure." But
Good.
so, like I said, we'll see. My my hand is really hurting, so we'll see how this goes. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you, Tess. Nice to see you. Um, so since Lynn is such a prolific channel of Hathor, um, I came up with a message here that is from Hathor. I do not believe I've shared yet. Pretty fresh. And I would like to share it with you tonight. There's Terry Bexham. Who else we've got coming in from Dallas? Hello, Terry. Nice to see you. I'm Rob. Okay. My co-host Lynn LaBorde is not with us tonight, so I don't know if you've are friends with her. Is that how you've connected? Okay, yeah, she's at a retreat this evening, so she's got the night off. Okay,
Great.
and I'm going to start with a message that I received from Hathor. In this particular instance, I opened the door. I said, "Dear Spirit, please tell me what it is I need to know." I heard, "Greetings, beloved. It is I, Hathor, and I am delighted to have your ear this day. As much as set to unfold on your world, be not concerned, but only excited for the change. The shift of consciousness is applied to all, and most are affected in a positive way. Yet those who cannot and will not move in that direction. So many have been trapped in a state of fear for so long that they can no longer look for themselves. They can no longer think for themselves and must be told what to do, how to live, and what to believe. Unfortunately for the souls, they have lost faith in their own inherent light and do not see the forest for the trees. This does not mean that their fate is certain, but merely limited in expansion capabilities because of the thoughts, whereas trust should be the overwhelming energy put forth at this time. Did you know it is contagious? I said, no, I didn't. Well, yes, that is the case. And it is so important to excuse me, it is the case. And it is so important to relay that message to your current brethren. Each and every one of you is a divine being of light, and the world is at your fingertips. So create all that it is that you want or believe that you need, and watch it come to fruition in the new earth. Yes, these messages can be redundant, but what other choice do we have? It is vitally important that one accepts the true nature of their soul and the love that is the basis for having the human experience. There is nothing to prepare for except the notion that separation is, and because it is not in its, it is not, it is vitally important to remind others of that fact and encourage all that you can to look within and find the answers to all life's questions, and then relax into the answers. Your divinity is real. It is true, and it provides you the power of creation at every level, from healing your body to manifesting three-dimensional objects to traveling the ethers and experiencing unfamiliar timelines and options not taken. Yes, this is a lot to unpackage for so many, but it is the truth of this reality as the veil is lifted and the limits dissolve. Know that you are not alone, never alone on this journey of rediscovery. Yes, the amnesia is still quite thick, but the art of introspection dissolves and consumes that barrier of forgetfulness and that unlocks the kingdom of heaven to all who inquire. Oh, and not to mention the access to your Akashic records of all previous lifetimes and incarnations. So put your faith in us, put your faith in God, and simply call out to us and we will respond. Look for the signs, listen for words, and experience what it means to be multi-dimensional beings simply having an earthly experience. Your family awaits you, one and all, as we have gathered from throughout all dimensions of time and space to witness the ascension of Gaia and the rediscovery of that source light energy once again. So continue to shine your light and shine and share in what you know as we all collectively work together to change paradigms and experience life at a whole new level of harmony and understanding. Of course, no message is complete without the reminder of the availability of the violet consuming flame and its power to transmute all of the experiences and memories that hold one down and back from having realizations. So please apply the latest and greatest technology ever available to free humanity from this cauldron of crap that has so many frozen in place, believing that there is nowhere to turn, and one must accept the reality that they are living in with no hope for change. Since that is the current narrative at play, violet can be and should be applied to the entire collective as often as you can by envisioning all bathed in the light of source and expanding up and out of this matrix of lack and discord and up into the new with all the bells and whistles you can find. So release what does not serve at every level and bathe in the violet light of source every chance you get. Yes, I know that the words today can be quite repetitive, but it is what is needed at this time in your planetary ascension, as well as the universal collective of all planets and galaxies that align with the light and love of the Creator. This will be a dramatic and wonderful shift for all who choose. Shift for all who choose. So be the one who gets it done and show the way for all who inquire as the great awakening. Thank you once more for all of your efforts to assist humanity at this time. Farewell and namaste, the happy ones. Hey, Lynn, that was a lot to chew on.
I love that the Hathors came to you, love. So I want to tell you something really extraordinary. I'm up here in Rhinebeck, New York, at the Institute, sitting in the middle of this gorgeous field, looking up at the sky and just admiring what it is that God has created. And one of the things that we're learning in the classes that I'm taking about prana, it's a basic prana class, an advanced prana class, and a psychotherapy class, is when you learn to use color prana, the highest level of color prana other than gold is violet, light whitish violet and electric violet. And they have said that it seems that the violet has a soul of its own. And the very first time I did this class was back in June, and Saint Germain came in. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I just want to let you know that the violet flame that they're using is the same violet flame. And there's a frequency of healing that comes in when you use violet and electric violet. And there's certain chakras that you can use it on, certain ones you can't. But it's so beautiful to hear that what is coming for all of us is just remarkable. I've done 5 classes, and in every class I get chosen to be the one that they're doing the healing on. And even as a reviewer today, I was chosen in yesterday. And I said to Yeshua, "What's going on?" And he said, "We're preparing you for the work that you're meant to do in the world." And I called Rob about a half an hour ago and I go, "Look, there's a meditation that's, being led at 7 o'clock. There's thousands of people around the world on it. I really want to attend. I'm not going to come to the podcast." And he's like, "All right." And I'm sitting in the chair and Yeshua's like, "Go outside. You're doing the podcast." I'm like, "All right." So there's what I want, and then there's what they want. And what they wanted is for me to be here. So I just want to say a couple quick congratulations. Our beloved Lynn Hansen and our beloved Nadia have both been ordained as priestesses in the Order of Melchizedek. Congratulations, beloved sisters. And Tess, our lovely Tess-Fito, has been a student of mine for several months, and he's been struggling with reading the Akashic records. And today he worked with Michael Edwards, another one of my favorite beings, and they opened him up and he did a reading. And from what I understand, it was a beautiful reading. So congratulations, Tess. I'm thrilled for you. Yay. And my teacher, Dawn, is going to be bringing the pranic trainings to Long Island. We officially opened the sanctuary with the 24 people that we have in the sanctuary over the weekend. 16 new people were ordained. It was just an extraordinary moment. Reverend Dan is getting really old, so I don't know how many more of these he's going to be able to travel the 6 hours down to be able to do. Rob was ordained several years ago, but they're really precious. So the offerings and the work that we're doing in the world, Yeshua showed up. They were like, "What was that big light behind you?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's just Yeshua." Yeshua ben Joseph and Master Choa, the man who put this whole thing together. So when did that Hathor's message come in, Rob? That was so gorgeous.
I think it was a few weeks back. Look at the date.
Oh,
yeah,
it's beautiful.
But again, and what even in that message it said redundance. It's the same messages are very repetitive. The shift continues. We're moving into new places, new paradigms. More and more people are waking up. But it's still a free will situation where people can just stay frozen in place. They don't have to accept or change anything. But I guess in order to move into this 5th dimensional paradigm, you've got to look within. At least start by looking within, and that's what this message really. It started off with about the introspection. I'm sorry, Lynn, you're back. There we go. We got a connection. No, she's frozen.
I am I frozen?
Just your image. We can hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're in the middle of nature. There's Wi-Fi, but it appears I'm nowhere near it. It's repetitive because there's only so many things that can be said. That what.
Yeah. being out in the wilderness like that. She's about an hour and a half north of New York City in Rhinebeck, New York. Beautiful, right at the base of the Catskills.
All right,
There
guys.
she is. Okay, you're back.
Great. I'm back. Rob, I
All
made
right.
you host in case it goes down, Lovey, so I don't take
Okay.
it with me.
Okay.
It's, we're learning things like how to work with crystals. I'm teaching a class in which Yeshua and others are teaching us how to communicate with crystals. I bought this big, beautiful crystal in the shape of a Merkaba lined with gold. I've started wearing gold, even though my hair is silver, because they're like, it's time to enhance. It's not time to hide anymore. Silver detracts and gold enhances. So I don't know. All I have to say is the message is the same. Do your work, do your inner work. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Love, love, love. And spread the word. That's it in a nutshell. Oh, Rob, they just said, please tell Robert to stop being selfish and publish his books. I haven't heard that message in a while, baby.
Oh, being selfish. Okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that.
You're like, so many people could have such an incredible experience by, reading what it is that you've channeled and brought through. Listen, Yeshua and Magdalene said the same thing to me when they were like, it's time to publish the book. And I was like, but yeah, they're saying it's time.
Okay.
It's time.
Let's hope for the new year, it's all laid out perfectly. Right? New launch.
Yeah.
It'll be all good. So does anybody have any questions or topics or anything on their mind that we can visit with tonight before we get any further? I don't see any questions, so that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing either. I know we got Susan stopped in. It's nice to see you, Nadia. Nadia, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you over the weekend when you were up here. I was under the weather.
I was looking for you.
I was on the Z-Pack, so I didn't think it was a good idea to go spread the love, I didn't want anybody taking home what I picked up.
No, listen, my sister calls me yesterday and she goes, Bobby, her husband, has COVID. She said, I was over at the house picking up Mom. Susan wants to say something. Over at the house picking up Mom, and Mom had to have a tooth drilled and they had to drain it. There was a big infection. She said, I took the last year COVID test, and I said, not a problem. I had it once, and that's all I plan on never having it. But
Susan, yep, you have a question for us?
Well, I unmuted so I could talk. Can I say what I have to say?
Please say. Yes, speak.
I think the repetition is definitely something I notice, but I have to constantly be aware that the time in the fifth dimension is about the fact that we can connect to the intergalactic beings. It's the big picture. And like, who wants to do that? Even every day. Shall I talk to anybody who's on my podcast, which is your podcast? But I think it's so true that we can talk to them, that I'm getting used to it. And the repetition helps. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Hey, Susan, Shalom said that if you ever want to talk to him, I don't have any of your contact information. I don't think I'm connected to you on any social media, but if you wanted to, he said to please give you his number. He would be happy to have a discussion with you about what it was that you brought up last week. So just know that that's available to you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, you never know what's going to come out of these weekly podcasts. You never know. But let's, in revisiting, in that message, it talked about transmutation, talked about meditation, and moving on into in this ascension, on ascension track that we're on. We're all on the track. There is only one destination, one station. You can get off it, get on it anytime you want, as much as you want. You can just stay on the station. You don't have to take this train. This is the free will choice that we all have. But the remembering is the biggest part. This is really the great remembering, the remembering and recognizing our inherent divinity, that we have created this reality. We have developed our characters. We live based on what we believe. We've chosen our careers based on circumstances, what we like, what we want. It's not always the ideal situation, but it is the reality we've created on every level. And once you step back and start looking at it that way, almost from the outside looking in at your life and your world and what we all believe as a species and a collective, it's pretty impressive. And there's no limit to what we can come up with. And recently, I was listening to a channeling of Saint Germain and an Adamus version of Saint Germain through someone else. And what was brought up was the subject of how humanity, even still at this point of ascension, as we're on this path, we're still looking outside of ourselves. We're still looking for someone else to step in and save us. Someone to tell us, wait a second, you're from here, you're from there. There's nothing, we are it. There is no one to save us. We are the galactic beings from everywhere in the galaxy, all boiled down into this one pot called humanity, with all our shapes and sizes and figures, and you understand what I'm saying. But there's no one outside of us. And specifically, they even brought up the Ashtar command, which just 2 weeks ago, Lynn and I were sharing in messages from Ashtar Sheeran, and I had shared a channeled message. And a lot of people believe that that command and Arcturians and Lyrians and Pleiadians are all going to show up and rescue us from ourselves, from the darkness, from what we don't want. And again, when you go down those roads, you're just looking outside of yourself. The answers lie within for all of the freedom that we are looking for. Everything is there without restriction. It's just about asking. So Tess, like Lynn said, you're into the Akash. You've been able to go in there and open those records and glean the answers that you need, right? It's all inside. And that's the big reminder that we all need every day, that you don't need anything outside of yourself. So it's most important, and I learned this lesson, to get up in the morning and do your best to meditate, even for 5 minutes, before you even start your day, because it puts you in a whole different dynamic, a whole different frequency, where then you approach your day with more of a wonder and more of an excitement and less of an anticipation of what she was going to drop next. That's kind of
There was a conversation at lunch on exactly this. The women were saying that they were raised as Catholic, and they said you weren't allowed to meditate. And they said that only the priest can talk to God. And meditation is the place where you learn how to listen. You learn how to open. God gave us all a little lunchbox when we came to Earth, and it was filled with all kinds of goodies, things like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairgusto, clairalliance. So many of these spiritual psychic gifts to allow us to communicate with spirit when we're in a body, forgetting that we are spiritual beings having a human existence. And my school and everything that I do and everything that I teach is about helping people to wake up and to remember their divinity, to remember that they're spiritual beings, to remember, the incarnations they've had. Nadia was just saying the other day that, she was thrilled that she was able to remember herself as a high priestess in Atlantis, and now it becomes incumbent upon her, and it's her responsibility to wake up and remember all that she did in that lifetime and who she was an oracle for. And, that's what we're all here for. I have the tools to teach that. The stuff that they're doing with pranic healing, oh my God, it's just extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it. And Jesus is like, this is how we healed. We use light, we use crystals. There's this gorgeous tree. Everyone was hugging the tree and kissing the tree and being with the tree. And we laid on the grass. We did meditations outside. We did exercises outside. I'm so mellow. Like, I feel, I'm not a drug taker, but Lord, where was I? I went to a friend's birthday party, and she had this, what I thought was lemonade, and I took a sip of it, and I'm like, this is delicious. She goes, it's got a little THC in it. I'm thinking, how bad can that be? I was literally high for 2 days. I'm not a drug taker. Like, that's not my thing. And I was like, I hated the feeling. But it's just like when your head's so heavy that you can't lift it. And I feel like that just from being in nature. There's no stress, there's no worry. I was able to hear Yeshua when he was like, do the right thing, go be on the podcast. I got all these lovely people in there doing a meditation. I'll meditate with them another time. But this is where I was meant to be, sitting here in nature, listening to do you pronounce it cicadas? I think it's cicadas. Little creatures that make all that noise, like crickety noise. And then when you slow it down, it sounds like a symphony.
Really, I've never noticed that.
I don't know. Anyway, I
never heard that.
Yeah, there was a video. They slowed down the sounds of the crickets, and it literally sounds like a symphony. So I have Yeshua ben Joseph here for us. I'm going to bring him forward. Let him do his thing. God, nature is so beautiful. Everything we want and everything we need. The trees talk to us. The creatures talk to us. The grass talks to us. It's just incredible. They did a divine healing. He pulled 2 people up for the divine healing, class of 20 of us. And I was one of them. And Linda is one of them, Linda who got ordained. And he invoked this divine presence in a cave, and it went into our ajna, and it went into the back of our heart, and went into our crown. And it was just like this feeling of bliss. Some people crave that through other things, and it's like you can just have that by being in nature. We have a storm coming. Do not drink lemonade that is laced with THC. It does not go well. I am not a fan of drugs, and I never have been. I love having a sharp mind. All right, so I don't have a holder, so I'm holding my hand. So please excuse if there's any motion. Oh my, here we go. Greetings, beloved ones.
Welcome.
Beloveds, it has been said. Thank you, brother. Brother, thank you. Now, Sahana Grace will poke the bear and she will say that you are being selfish. What we said was that we wished for you to share your messages with the world, for they are needed, they are wanted. If she says that you are being selfish, that is her poking at you like a sister would poke at a brother, shall we say. It is the same way that she pokes at time to her beloved Tesfito. Tess, we say congratulations to you, brother. It is your time. It is your time indeed. And welcome to those who chose to step in, to be ordained. It is a remembrance, beloveds. Understand that your frequencies were adjusted. They were changed. They were altered. There was more light. You were given light, more light for which to remember, for which to see. Beloveds, it is not enough that you are taught things. It is that you indeed apply them. For the true testament to any teaching is that you're able to apply it. So for those of you that have learned to read the records, go in and read them. For those of you that are about to, when you learn these tools, apply them. Brother Robert, you have done a magnificent job of keeping the messages flowing. And indeed, beloved one, it is time for the publication. For there are so many lives that will be deeply touched by what it is you have done and your journey with it, not to mention the messages that come forth. So the message that we have for all of you, beloved ones, is to allow yourselves to remember what is it that you are meant to remember is your divinity. is the way in which you are here to function as one who lights the candles of those who have forgotten that they're divine creatures of love and light, have forgotten that forgiveness is an option. Each of you have within your life someone that you feel that has wronged you, someone that you find it challenging and difficult to forgive. But what we would ask of you, beloved ones, is to find it within your heart, to allow forgiveness to come. For when you can afford that grace to another, it gives them pause and allows them to think, is this something that I could give to another as well? So we will ask you once again to look within your world and find where forgiveness has not yet been granted, and be that agent of change. Beloved ones, who amongst you has any questions?
Okay. Anyone have? I don't see any hands up. Okay. We're good. I think Master Yeshua, I might as well pose a question this evening. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Robert.
Please tell me, what are the purpose of these vicious bees that attack me tonight? If we don't, they don't make honey, what are they good for? Because they just create a lot of pain and swelling.
Beloved one, there is a place where you self-poison when you do not listen to the guidance that has been given to you. For example, the message that Sahana Grace brings to you and says it is indeed time to publish. You give yourself many reasons. You give yourself many excuses. You have an idea in mind of how you want this to go.
Go out.
What we would like to recommend to you, beloved one, is that you set a schedule. Find someone to work with you to allow this to come to fruition. You will allow yourself distractions. You will allow yourself to have many ways in which you will step away from the given or the chosen path, shall we say. Beloved, you would have wealth beyond measure if you would allow yourself to publish these books. You would be able to step away from that which you have been afraid of stepping away from. You would afford yourself freedom and luxury and pleasure. And yet there is something within you, a way of self-poisoning, shall we say. It keeps you from being able to take the next step that is necessary. If you will call upon us for guidance, if you will say, please tell me with whom I should meet, please tell me the direction that I should go, and you listen to us rather than listening to the fear of, I think that my job is what provides my sustenance, when the truth is that it is God. You have been given an extraordinary gift with the words that you speak and the words that you write, the messages that you allow yourself to be a communicator for. And yet you hide them. They are no longer meant to be hidden, beloved. They are meant to be shouted from the rooftop. Allow yourself to be on podcasts. Yeah, beyond this one. Allow yourself to take your messages to the world. Allow yourself to be the true servant. But there is still a portion of you that lives in fear. If you did not have the job that you do, you would not be able to have the lifestyle that you have. But beyond your wildest dreams, beloved, is what actually awaits you. So if you can let go of the reins that you have placed upon yourself, you will be astounded at what is waiting for you. We have been knocking at your door quite some time. And it is time for you to say, let me head in the direction. Let me be of the greatest service that I am meant to be. And allow yourself to see what the Lord has made for you, not what you have been able to make.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
So that's all that.
Indeed.
Thank
Beloved,
you, Yeshua. Thank you.
we
We
are
do have a
going
question.
to release the body at this time. There is commotion and motion behind us that will be causing quite a distraction. We thank you all, beloved ones, and we shall speak with you again.
Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you for your message. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Well
Ron,
taken.
I'll call first dibs on that first signed copy. I need you. It's recorded.
No problem.
I'm first.
Hey,
I'm
Carol.
first.
Listen, you
Okay.
have no idea how much he has written, how much it's just crazy.
Yeah, there's
Literally.
people filing out.
Well over 1,000, I know. They
Wow.
seem to all be coming out of the house.
Okay. Lynn, we started this podcast in the beginning when you weren't here. You hadn't come in yet. And I said I got stung by a bunch of bees a little while ago. And about
Sorry,
an hour
babe.
ago, I took an EpiPen and a bunch of antihistamine, and I'm pretty swollen and in some pain. So is it all right if we truncate this one a little early?
I was going to ask the same thing.
So I'm sorry to everyone, but
No, honey,
I
please.
got to go tend to this. I've taken the antihistamine, but
No.
there's some swelling.
Listen, go take care of yourself, babe, and I got to go mingle with the crowd.
Thank you.
So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah. And
Thank you all.
We'll see you all again soon.
We'll do this next week. Absolutely. I apologize for the short notice on this whole thing, but we'll talk to you later. Thank you, Susan.
Fine.
Thank you, Sue, Water, Carol, Tess, brother, Michelle. So long. Miss Hanson.
Terry, Lynn, love you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
See you next week.